chapter in this class. I want to quote and you have to tell me who has written this quotation. Imagination is more important than knowledge. I repeat, imagination is more important than knowledge. I hope you have guessed the answer. Yes, it was said by Albert Einstein, the very famous scientist. In today's chapter, Albert Einstein at school. Today, we will learn about a great scientist when he was a child like you. In those days, how he was, and later on, how he became a great scientist. So my dear children, you all might have different interest in different subjects. Some of you might like maths, some of you might like physics, some of you might like history, some of you might like Hindi, some of you might like English literature. So everybody is having their own likings and interest in every subject. So the subject which we like the most, we score good marks in that particular subject. And the subject which we doesn't like, at that particular time, we score very less or very worse marks, or maybe we get the fail marks in that particular subject, the subject we doesn't like. So you might have experienced that. I also had experienced these kinds of situations when I was a kid like you. When I was studying in school, I hate maths the most. Maths was like a Satan is trying to kill me. But later on, when I passed class 10th examination, in 11th, I had a choice of taking maths or not. If I take science, I have to continue with the maths. But I had chosen arts because I hate maths, and because of that, the whole years from 6th to 10th, it was very terrible for me to bear maths classes. If it is maths classes, I will never do my homework. So each and every day I will be punished of not doing my homework. So there is some kind of frustration, not liking that particular subject. Just because of that particular subject, you don't like to go to school. Like that only, this Albert Einstein, when he was studying and has to complete his diploma in school, so he has to study the subject called history. So his history teacher was Mr. Brown. So Mr. Brown suddenly asked him a question related to, he asked some year, in which year so and so, like that he asked. But Albert Einstein was not able to memory the facts. Rather, he said that it is, he replied his teacher that you had teach us in a wrong manner. Instead of remembering all those dates and dates, it is better to explain us what was the reason behind these one. So he had questioned his teacher, and because of these kinds of questions, all the teachers were not happy with Albert Einstein. So sometimes when we ask the correct question, sometimes people are not ready to digest the correct questions because you are not able to give the correct answer. That particular time, the person who is asking you questions will become your great enemy. Like that only, Albert Einstein was hated by maximum number of his teacher at school level. So he was living so far away. He was not living along with his family members. So he was living in a quarter at Munich, where the landlord was very different kind of a lady. She was always beating her children, and on every Saturday her husband beat her. So this was the things that he was surrounded by people who were not living in a peaceful manner. So he doesn't like those violence. So to renew his means to get away from all these kinds of things, he liked music and he played violin most of the time. So he was studying in art school, as we know that he was learning history, but whenever we go into his room, there will be so many lots of books he was reading, and he was very good in maths. And in his room you will find multis of science textbook which he really likes, and he was not so we can say that he was not interested in history, but rather he was much interested in science. And because of this interest in science, he was very much having that kind of passion towards science, even though he was not studying those subjects at school, but out of school he was keep on studying those science textbooks which enlightened him, and he was very much interested in reading those books. So imagine how was the situation of Albert Einstein, that he was forcing to complete his diploma in school, in which school that he was not interested at all and not interested in learning history. So imagine his situation, how worst he was studying there and not interested in the subject which he was not interested. Obviously he will become fail, and when you fail, then obviously what happened, people will tell that you don't have you are fool, you don't know how to learn, you are dumb. So many people will tell ill of you if you become fail. So to avoid these kinds of situation, he had a great plan. He had one friend named Yuri. So he tell all his problems to Yuri. He was his best friend, and when Yuri understood the situations of Albert Einstein, he decided to help him. So what did they decide? They decided that they will, means Albert Einstein will get a certificate of nervous breakdown. So they had a plan like that. But how they will get that particular certificate? So if we want to get these kinds of certificate, it should be very true that you are having a nervous breakdown. But Yuri had a friend, fresh doctor named Will, and he already told Dr. Will that one of my friend Albert Einstein is having these kinds of situations, these kinds of problems, so he needs your help. Please make a certificate for him so that he maybe get TC issued from that particular school. So he accepted, and he asked Albert Einstein to meet that doctor. Then Albert Einstein was really very nervous of going to that particular doctor, because how he has to tell, he was not able to understand. So when he reached the cabin of the doctor asked, "What is your problem?" Then he said that school is a greater problem for me. So why don't you like your school? So he had narrated all the stories. So after narrating the stories, this doctor was able to understand that it is a real problem. So he had made a certificate for him, a nervous breakdown certificate. So with the help of that nervous breakdown certificate, he will be dismissed from the school. Means he will be able to take out the TC from that particular school. So that plan was success. But in the school, many of the teachers had complained to the headmaster about Albert Einstein, and the headmaster had decided to give him a TC certificate so that every children who are studying there would not be affected by Albert Einstein. So he was planning from his side, but the school members, means the headmaster, the teachers, all others were also planning to remove him from the school. So when he reached school, he first of all he met his maths teacher. So when he met his maths teacher, at that particular time the maths teacher was really very sad, because he know that other teachers are planning to remove Albert Einstein from school. So he feel very sad, because Albert Einstein was really excellent in maths. So when he reached the cabin of the chamber of the headmaster, he was about to give the certificate which the doctor was has given to him. That particular time, before he gave the certificate, the headmaster himself gave him the TC certificate. So he felt so miserable that he was removed from that school. At the same point, he was really happy that without completing those diploma, he was going away from that particular school. But whatever he had planned was not in that case. So later on, he met his friend Yuri, and at the same time his cousin Elsa. His cousin Elsa, most of the times he says that there are so many students who had passed without understanding the subjects. You also can do like them. They are not so intelligent, so brilliant, but they have passed the examinations. Like that only you also can do. So most of the time Elsa will suggest these kinds of things to Albert Einstein, but Albert Einstein doesn't like those kinds of learning, because he wants to learn by himself. He wants to understand and then know the facts behind whatever he had studied about. So he wants to search the things and imply it, not only just mugging up or by hearting the question and answers and just write it down in the answer sheet. So he was that brilliant, but according to those teachers, he was a very, very worst student. So when we looked at Albert Einstein at school and now as a scientist, how do we feel? Was Albert Einstein a brilliant student at school, or was Albert Einstein a good student according to those teachers? So, my dear children, the theme of this chapter is that we should do only those things in which you are interested, or you feel like you are interested in those particular subjects. So you should be choosing the correct decision of what is your interest and what is your liking. Then only you will be going in a right path and you will achieve success in your life. If you are not liking doctor, means MBBS classes, but your parents ask you to join that particular course, and you are means without your likings, you are not interested in MBBS, but your parents force you to do, what will happen? Yes, you will fail in that field. So you will not become a successful doctor. So it is better to decide what is your interest and how will you make that interest in a very fruitful manner. It is your choice, like that only. You have to decide or choose the correct path to go. When you will complete your 12th standard classes, there will be so many options to go. Some may say that you may go this, you may go that, but the correct decision should be taken only by you. You should know what is your interest, how will you make that interest your passion, and how will you become success. So these are the things that you should remember while choosing a career, while choosing your profession. So as I told you before, that really I hate maths because I don't know how to solve the problem, but I like literature and I have joined that, and really I'm really happy that I didn't choose science, because if I had chosen science because my friends were in science stream, that particular time if I had chosen science because my friends were in science stream, I would have failed, I would have not achieved anything in my life. So a failure. So it is upon us how we recognize our talent, our interest. Okay. This particular chapter was written by Patrick Prinkle. Patrick Prinkle is noted as the author of authoritative, well-researched works that inform readers about the natural science and the environment. His work provides information on nature and the environment while emphasizing the dangers that threaten the earth and its resources. Hope you had understood the chapter very well. I have prepared some multiple choice questions for you, my dear, so that you can easily understand the text, or you can easily understand what the text was about. But my dear children, please go through your text, read it thoroughly. You will enjoy the story, and you will enjoy the dialogue of how he was able to respond to his teacher when his teacher was asking him. So you should not miss all those little elements in the story. So you have to read that story, and I'm sure that you will enjoy the story very much. So multiple choice question for you. Question number 1. The extract Albert Einstein at school is taken from option A, the young Einstein, option B, Einstein's expulsion, option C, the story of Einstein, option D, the famous Einstein. So it is option A, the young Einstein. Question number 2. What was the name of Albert Einstein's history teacher? Yes, I had told you. Hope you had guessed. I'll give you the option. Option A, Mr. Wade. Option B, Mr. Brown. Option C, Mr. Coach. Option D, not mentioned in the lesson. Yes, it is mentioned in the lesson. So it is option B, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown was Albert Einstein's history teacher. Question number 3. According to Einstein, learning facts is not dash. Option A, avoidable. Option B, wasteful. Option C, education. Option D, easy. So my dear children, the correct answer is option C, education. Question number 4. What was Albert's theory of education? What was Albert's theory of education? Option A, giving importance to ideas than to facts. Option B, learning all important facts. Option C, memorizing. Option D, writing everything. And the correct answer is option A, giving importance to ideas than to facts. Question number 5. How did Albert feel about going to school every day? How did he feel going to school? Option A, cheerful. Option B, scared. Option C, miserable. Option D, grateful. What is the correct answer? Yes, the correct answer is option C, miserable, because he was feeling so miserable about going to school. Question number 6. How long did Albert's father want him to attend the school for? How long did Albert's father want him to attend the school for? Option A, until he comes to love the school. Option B, until his father called. Option C, until he complete his diploma. Option D, none of the above. And the correct answer is option C, until he complete his diploma. So he was trying to he was trying to come out of the school, but his father want him to complete his diploma, then he can come home. Question number 7. Where did Albert Einstein reside during his schooling? Where did Albert Einstein reside during his schooling? Means वो कहाँ रह रहा था? Option A, at home with his family. Option B, at the quarters of Munich. Option C, at his friend's house. Option D, at the place provided by school. So the correct answer is option B, at the quarters of Munich. Question number 8. The place where Einstein lived had dash. The place where Einstein lived had dash. Option A, no comfort. Option B, bad food. Option C, dirt and squalor. Option D, all of the above. And the correct answer is option D, all of the above. There was no comfort, bad food, dirt and squalor, all of the above. Question number 9. Albert Einstein had a friend named dash. Do you remember what is the name of the friend? I'll give you the option. Option A, Yuri. Option B, Elsa. Option C, Brown. Option D, Coach. What is the correct answer? It is option A, Yuri. Question number 10. Yuri mentions a fight in which a scar is a dash. Yuri mentions a fight in which a scar is a dash. If you read the text, you will be able to find out. Now listen to the options. Option A, symbol of defeat. Option B, a badge of honor. Option C, proof of weakness. Option D, none of the above. And the correct answer for this question is option B, badge of honor. Question number 11. What was the name of Albert Einstein's cousin? Option A, Yuri. Option B, Coach. Option C, Elsa. Option D, Brown. And the correct answer is option C, Elsa. Okay, question number 12. What was Albert's cousin's suggestion to him to help him get through his exams? Option A, to understand everything that was taught. Option B, to learn without understanding. Option C, to pay attention in the class. Option D, to find a good tutor. So, what was the suggestion given by Elsa to Albert Einstein? Yes, it is option B, to learn without understanding. Question number 13. According to Einstein, what was a good enough reason to study something? Option A, it has to be part of curriculum. Option B, when the reader was forced to study. Option C, if the reader likes it. Option D, all of the above. My dear children, the correct answer is option C, if the reader likes it. Question number 14. Apart from book on science, what comforted Albert Einstein? Option A, playing on streets. Option B, drawing and painting. Option C, calligraphy. Option D, music and playing violin. And what is the correct answer? Yes, the correct answer is option D, music and playing violin. Question number 15. How did Albert Einstein plan to leave the school? Option A, by getting a certificate of nervous breakdown from a doctor. Option B, by running away. Option C, by calling his father to help him out of the school. Option D, by asking the head teacher. What is the correct answer? Yes, it is option A, by getting a certificate of nervous breakdown from a doctor. Question number 16. Einstein was dash with his own idea of leaving school. Option A, sad. Option B, joyous. Option C, terrified. Option D, doubtful. My dear children, the correct answer is option B, joyous. He was very happy of the idea of leaving the school. Question number 17. Who helped Albert in finding a doctor who would help him in fulfilling his plan to leave the school? Who helped him? Option A, his father. Option B, Elsa. Option C, Yuri. Option C, no one. Yes, we all know it is option C, Yuri. Question number 18. He is not a fool. Yuri warned Albert. Who is he? He is not a fool. Yuri warned Albert. Who is he? Option A, the head teacher of school. Option B, Albert's maths teacher. Option C, Albert's father. Option D, Dr. Earnsville. So what is the correct answer? It is option D, Dr. Earnsville. Question number 19. Albert was dash about his appointment with the doctor. Option A, worried. Option B, thrilled. Option C, annoyed. Option D, passive. So Albert was, so what is the correct answer? It is option A, worried. Albert was worried about his appointment with the doctor. Now the last question, question number 20. What did Albert plan to do after he left school? What did Albert plan to do after he left school? Option A, look for a job. Option B, get into college or institute. Option C, start his own business. Option D, do nothing. The correct answer is get into college or institute. He was asked by Dr. Vale also that after going away from school, what will you do? Then he had responded that he wanted to join the science college. So hope you had understood this chapter, and I hope that you will decide what is next for you, and I believe that whatever you will decide your own interest and your own capability, and whenever you have chosen the correct decision, then obviously you will you will achieve your success in your life. That's all for today's class. Meet you in the next class. Thank you.